By the time Darren got home, the sky had already gone that flat gray Ohio color that made everything look a little used up. His driveway had a crack running through it. The porch light had been burned out for 3 days. Inside, Nicole had left the TV on in the living room. Some home renovation show with bright kitchens and laughing couples who acted like picking tile was the hardest thing they'd ever been through. He stood in the kitchen in his work boots and loosened his tie without really thinking about it. Claims all day. Roof damage, hail damage, arguments about estimates, men getting loud over gutters and shingles like any of it meant something bigger. He used to come home hungry. Now he mostly came home tired in a way food didn't fix. Nicole was on the couch, under a blanket, half scrolling, half watching TV. "You eat yet?" she asked. "Not really. There's leftover chili." He nodded, though he wasn't sure he wanted it. That was marriage lately. Not bad enough to call broken. Not warm enough to call good. Just two people making each other room. Later, after dishes, after the 10-minute conversation about the water bill and whether her sister was still coming Sunday, Nicole fell asleep on the couch. Darren turned the volume down and stood there looking at her for a second. He still loved her. That was the hard part. Nothing dramatic had happened. Life had just gone thin. In the bathroom, he stripped down and stared at himself in the mirror, soft around the middle. Tired eyes, chest hair going gray in spots. He looked like a man who had become useful instead of alive. He showered longer than usual. When he got out, the air felt cool against his damp skin. Nicole's bottle of expensive body lotion sat near the sink, the kind she barely used anymore because she said it cost too much to replace. He picked it up, squeezed some into his palm, and rubbed it over his arms, then his chest, then his legs. The feeling caught him off guard. Smooth, clean, not sexy. Just kind. He stood there in the quiet, breathing in the faint powdery smell, and for the first time all day, maybe all month, he didn't feel braced against himself. He just felt his own skin. That should have been the end of it. Instead, he opened the hall closet, saw an old pair of Nicole's sleep shorts folded in the back from years ago, and held them for a long second before taking them to the guest room. He told himself it was only fabric. He already knew that wasn't true. For 3 days, Darren acted like that night hadn't meant anything. He went to work, took photos of storm damage, ate gas station peanuts in his truck, came home and made the right noises when Nicole talked about her sister's new kitchen cabinets. But the feeling of those shorts stayed with him in a way that bothered him, not because it felt dirty, because it felt calm. That Saturday, Nicole left for a long Target run and said she might stop by her mom's after. Darren stood at the bathroom sink for a full minute before opening the cabinet under it. There were disposable razors, a newer refill cartridge razor, shaving cream, and an old exfoliating scrub Nicole had quit using because it did nothing. He locked the door. At first, he only meant to clean up his chest. That was the excuse in his head. Just grooming, just maintenance. But once the shaving cream went on, thick and cold, he kept going. Down his stomach, across his thighs, then his calves, slow and awkward, one foot braced against the tub. It took forever. He missed patches, nicked his knee, got razor burn high on one thigh and cursed under his breath. Twice he nearly stopped. But every time he rinsed the razor and saw more hair go down the drain, something in him tightened and settled at the same time. When he finally stood up straight, the bathroom looked like a mess and he looked different. Not feminine. Not even close. Just less hidden. He dried off carefully, almost tender with himself. Then he rubbed lotion over his legs. That was the moment that got him. His hands slowed. The skin felt smooth in a way he wasn't used to. Cool and bare and strangely exposed. He sat on the closed toilet lid for a second, breathing hard, not from effort. From the fact that he liked it. Really liked it. He kept waiting for the shame to hit full force. It didn't. What hit instead was a scared little thought he couldn't quite shake. So this is why. An hour later, still half shaken, he sat in his truck in the pharmacy parking lot and bought a few things on his phone from a cheap online shop. A bralette, 2 pairs of panties, a sleep dress in soft gray cotton. Nothing flashy, nothing he could ever explain. When he hit confirm, his stomach dropped. Then it lifted. He drove home with his legs bare under his jeans, feeling every inch of denim differently. The package came on a Tuesday while Darren was still at work. Nicole texted him a picture of the box on the porch with, "You order something?" He stared at the screen too long before typing back, "Yeah, work stuff." That lie sat in his chest the rest of the afternoon. When he got home, the box was on the kitchen counter next to a bag of lemons and an unopened stack of mail. Nicole was making pasta, back turned, hair clipped up messy. "Your work stuff came," she said. "Thanks." He picked the box up like it weighed more than it did and carried it straight out to the garage. He waited until after dinner, after the dishes, after Nicole went upstairs with her laptop to watch one of her crime shows in bed. Only then did he go back out there. He opened the box on the workbench under the buzzing yellow light. Nothing in it looked dramatic. That was what shook him. A folded gray sleep dress. A soft cream bralette. 2 pairs of panties, plain and simple. A cardigan thin enough to bunch in one hand. He touched each piece carefully, almost respectfully, like he'd ordered something fragile. He hid them inside an old metal tool drawer beneath extension cords and loose screws. That should have made it feel ridiculous. Instead, it made it feel real. Later, in the guest room with the door locked, he showered, dried off, and dressed slowly. Panties first. Then the bralette, awkward around his shoulders, not made for his body, and still somehow comforting once it settled. The sleep dress came last, soft cotton. Cool at first, then warm from his skin. He stood in front of the mirror and felt stupid for a full 10 seconds. Then he stopped feeling stupid. The dress didn't make him look like a woman. It didn't erase the broadness in him or the tired face, or the fact that he was a 37-year-old man hiding in his own house. But it changed the way he carried himself. His hands got quieter. His breathing slowed. He stopped clenching his jaw. That was the part he hadn't expected. Not excitement, not some big electric thrill. Relief. The next week he ordered more, a little braver each time. A pair of jeans cut for a woman's hips. A black blouse with soft sleeves. A light sweater that brushed the backs of his hands. Different fabrics, different moods. The jeans made him self-conscious. The blouse made him stand straighter. The sweater made him want to curl up somewhere safe and stay there. He started learning that clothes could do more than cover you. They could tell the truth before you were ready to say it. Darren told himself makeup was a line he didn't need to cross. Clothes were one thing. Private, quiet, easy to fold up and hide. Makeup felt different. Makeup meant intention. It meant looking at his own face and trying to change it, which was somehow more frightening than standing in a dress. Still, the thought stayed with him. The next Saturday, Nicole drove to Columbus with her sister to shop for bridesmaid dresses for a cousin's wedding. Darren had the house to himself till late afternoon. By 11, he was in a drugstore 20 minutes away, standing under bright lights with a basket in his hand, pretending to compare shampoo prices, while he kept drifting back to cosmetics. He bought the cheapest things he could manage without thinking too hard. Foundation, mascara, a soft pink lipstick, makeup wipes, a little powder compact. At checkout, he added gum and razors, like that would somehow explain the rest. Back home, he locked himself in the guest room and set everything out on the bed. The first try was awful. The foundation was too warm for his skin and sat on top of it like paint. The mascara clumped. He got lipstick past the edge of his mouth and wiped it off too hard. Then had to start over. By the time he was done, he looked less like a woman than a man who'd lost a bet. He stared at himself, embarrassed and weirdly hurt by how much that stung. Then he sat down, took a breath, and started again. Less this time. Slower. When he finished the second try, it still wasn't good. Not really. But it was gentler. His mouth looked softer. His lashes showed up. The hard, tired parts of his face didn't disappear, but they eased. He leaned closer to the mirror, one hand on the dresser, and felt something low in his chest go unsteady. Not because he looked perfect. Because he looked possible. The wig came 2 days later in a flat brown box he nearly left unopened out of fear. That night, after Nicole went to bed, he carried it to the guest room with shaking hands. Shoulder-length, brown hair. Slight wave. A little too shiny. Still. He pulled it on and froze. The weight of it settled around his head differently than he expected. Hair brushed the back of his neck when he turned. His whole outline changed. Not enough to fool anyone. Enough to change the room. He looked in the mirror for a long time. Then, so softly, he barely heard himself, he tried a name. Danny. He said it once more, quieter than prayer. This time he didn't flinch. Nicole noticed the small things first. Not the clothes, not yet. It was the other stuff. Darren taking longer showers. New bottles in the bathroom that he claimed were just for dry skin. The way he started bringing packages in from the porch too fast. How he'd changed into sweatpants less often at night, like he didn't want her casually seeing his legs. One night in bed, her foot brushed his calf under the blanket and she pulled back. "Did you shave?" Darren went still. "What?" "Your legs." She pushed herself up on one elbow and looked at him. "You shaved your legs?" He stared at the ceiling. "Yeah." "So what?" Nicole kept looking at him. "Since when do you shave your legs?" He gave a shrug that felt fake even to him. "I don't know. I just wanted to." She let that sit there between them. "Darren." "What?" "Don't do that voice with me." He turned his head then. "What voice?" "The one where you act like I'm crazy for noticing something weird." The room went quiet. Not dramatic quiet. Married quiet. The kind with history in it. Nicole sat back against the headboard. "Are you seeing somebody?" That hit him so hard he actually laughed once, but there was no humor in it. "What?" "I'm serious. I'm not seeing anybody." "Then what is going on with you?" Her voice dropped lower. "Hurt, not angry, because you've been somewhere else for weeks." Darren opened his mouth and shut it again. He could feel the shape of the truth pressing up inside him, ugly and impossible. He wanted to say it cleanly. He wanted one sentence that would make sense of everything. Instead, he said, "I've just been trying some stuff." Nicole blinked. "Trying what stuff?" He looked down at his hands. "I don't know." "That's not an answer." "I know." She waited. He said nothing. Finally, she asked, very quietly, "Is this sexual?" He swallowed. "No. I mean, not really. I don't think so." Nicole's face changed at that. Not relief exactly, something more unsettled than that. "Then what is it?" He shook his head, eyes burning now, angry at himself for not being able to do this right. "I don't know how to explain it yet." That word landed badly. "Yet?" Nicole slid out of bed and grabbed her pillow. "So there's enough to explain, though." He reached for her, then stopped. "Nicole." But she was already at the door. He sat there a long time after she left, staring at the dark TV screen across from the bed. Later, when the house had gone fully still, he took the wig and the black blouse out in the guest room and just looked at them. For the first time, becoming Danny didn't feel like relief. It felt expensive. After that night, Darren stopped pretending this was only about clothes. The house felt different with Nicole sleeping in the guest room, quieter but not peaceful. Every sound carried. Cabinet doors, footsteps, the coffee maker at 6 in the morning. They were careful with each other now, which somehow felt worse than fighting. Still, when he was alone, he kept going. Not faster. More seriously, he started paying attention to things he used to stumble through. How to sit in a skirt without yanking at the hem every 5 seconds. How a sweater hung better if his shoulders dropped instead of squared up. How even low ankle boots changed the way he moved if there was the slightest heel on them. He practiced in the guest room with the blinds shut, walking from dresser to door and back again, feeling ridiculous until he didn't. The strange part was that none of it felt theatrical. It felt specific, intentional, like learning handwriting with the wrong hand and slowly finding out it might not be the wrong one after all. A week later, Nicole went to dinner with a friend from work. She told him around 5, didn't ask what he'd be doing, and left by 6:30. Darren stood in the kitchen for 10 full minutes after the garage door closed. Then he went upstairs. He kept it simple. Women's jeans, a soft gray sweater, small hoops, light makeup, enough to soften but not hide. The wig, brushed twice, ankle boots with a low block heel. When he looked in the mirror, he didn't see perfection, he saw effort. He saw Danny trying to exist without apology. His hands shook the whole drive. He went 20 minutes out to a pharmacy near the highway where nobody would know him. The parking lot was half empty, bright lights. A teenage employee gathering carts. Darren sat in the car so long he nearly gave up, then forced himself out before he could think too hard. Inside, everything felt too loud. The wheels on his basket. The music overhead. His own breathing. He picked up makeup wipes, shampoo, a bag of cough drops he didn't need. At self-checkout, the woman supervising the registers barely glanced up. "Need help, ma'am?" "Ma'am?" Just like that. Casual. Thoughtless. Real. Darren looked up so fast he almost gave himself away. "No, I'm okay," he said. And even his voice came out softer than usual, thinned by nerves. She nodded and walked off. That was all. No second look. No second look. No scene. No one staring. But when he got back to the car, his hands wouldn't stop trembling. Not from fear this time. From the shock of being seen for 1 second by a stranger and feeling something inside him answer to it. It happened on a Thursday night because Darren got tired of waiting for the perfect moment. There wasn't going to be one. Nicole was in the kitchen rinsing out a wine glass when he came downstairs. He'd already changed. The gray sweater, dark jeans, small hoops, light makeup, wig brushed smooth, nothing flashy. That somehow made it harder. "Nicole." Something in his voice made her turn before she answered. She looked at him, and for a second neither of them moved. He saw her take in all of it at once. The careful face, the hair, the way he was standing too still. Like one wrong word might break whatever nerve had gotten him down the stairs. Nicole set the glass down very slowly. "Oh," she said. That was all at first. Not anger, not softness either. Just the sound a person makes when something stops being abstract. Darren felt heat climb up his neck. "I didn't want you to find out by accident." She leaned one hand on the counter. "I think I already did." He nodded. "Yeah." The silence stretched. The refrigerator hummed. A car went by outside with its bass low and distant. Real life kept going, which felt almost insulting. Nicole looked at him again, longer this time. "Is this who you are?" His mouth went dry. "I think it's part of me." Part. I don't have better words yet. She gave a tired little laugh at that, but there was no meanness in it. "You really do keep saying things when they're halfway formed. I know." Her eyes dropped to the floor, then back to him. "Did you ever plan to tell me?" "Yes." He swallowed. "I just kept hoping I'd understand it better first, so I wouldn't hand you something this messy." Nicole's face tightened. It was still messy. I know that too. That seemed to matter, him not defending himself. After a long minute, she asked quietly, "Do you have a name when you're like this?" He almost said no, almost hid one last thing. Instead, he said, "Danny." Nicole looked at him in a way she hadn't in months. Not warm, not cold, just fully there. "Danny," she repeated, like she was testing the weight of it. He nodded. She didn't come closer, but she didn't leave either. "I'm hurt," she said, "and I don't understand all of this. But I can see it's real." That landed harder than acceptance would have. Later, alone at the bathroom mirror, Darren took off the wig carefully, then the earrings, then wiped away the makeup in slow circles. When he was done, his own face came back, piece by piece, but not all the way. Somewhere under the tired eyes and stubble shadow, something had finally stopped hiding.